Trey and you and me and you scrub.
Shh, don't expose our alliance for Annihilation All Stars 2. I'm kidding.
It's posted.
Okay, it's live now, but I'll stall until I see that you post.
I just said it's posted.
Oh, cool. Alrighty.
We listen
Hello,
so well.
hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ascendance All Stars finale. We are here with Jabbar, Memes, and Thulsi, the final three. We are also we also have the jury with us. So here is how tonight is going to work. Um, the final three will give their opening speeches. Jabbar, Memes, and then Thulsi, and then the jurors will ask questions, give statements, whatever they want to do. They have 5 minutes each. And then for closing speeches, Thulsi will go first, then Memes, then Jabbar. We have a lot to get to tonight, so we are going to go ahead and get started. So up first, we have Jabbar. Jabbar, you have 5 minutes. Whenever you start talking, I will start your time.
Okay, so first and foremost, I would like to say thank you to production and the rest of the players. I really enjoyed getting to reconnect with some of you all and meeting some of you all for the first time, and I'm very grateful for production for asking me back. Last but not least, I would like to give a special thank you to my girl Regan. Even though she's not in a season, she paved the way for me to be here. If it wasn't for her playing for season 3, I would have never been called from season 4, and potentially I'm here for All Stars. So even though you're not on a season, girl, I love you, and I do want to give you that special thank you. Moving on into the game, just to give you a roadmap of what I'm going to talk about here, I'm going to talk about my pre-jury part of the game, and then I'm going to transition into how that affected my post-jury part of the game. So coming into this game, my strategy was to be as social as I possibly could. That was a benefit of my game from season 4, and I wanted to work that same angle. I also wanted to minimize my threat. I know that I came in here as one of the 5 winners of their season, but I think that there's something to be said about me being able to minimize my threat to a point where I was the only winner never to receive a vote before the jury phase of the game. Another very important thing that I wanted to make sure I did in the pre-jury portion of the game, I wanted to work on these social connections in an attempt to build trust. And an example of a way that I built trust with people was Memes, in fact, gave me his 50-50 coin and his lead role. I have both of his powers within the course of the same thing. And that type of trust is trust that I earned throughout the game. And that trust is very exemplified through not only just Memes, I'm just using that as an example. I built this trust with multiple people. Why is trust so important for my game? Trust is very important for my game because it gives me information. And information is the most pinnacle part of Ascendance. Information is what you need to use to make concrete and logical decisions. And I think that that's what I did throughout the pre-merge portion, the pre-jury portion of this game. Not only that, I was able to create a sense of everlasting targets. And when I mean everlasting targets, I mean people who possibly will have me clocked as the game progressed. I was able to use the information that I was getting from multiple people throughout this game to be able to pinpoint who it was that would be targeting me as the game progressed. And because of this information, I was able to hit a lot of these people before they were able to get the chance to target me. And those were the things that I did in the pre-jury portion of the game. This transcends into the post-jury portion of the game because I still had this idea of these everlasting targets. The first 3 jurors were people who I thought would have me clocked and potentially knock me out of this game if they were given a chance. And because of that, I had to take those shots before they were able to take those shots at me. And I think that I did those things very well. The post-jury portion of the game is also another portion of the game where I received a ton of information from a ton of different people. And this allowed me to play the way that I did. Some of those examples of this information comes from knowing that Maddie had the lead role at the Final 14. Maddie also informed me of Kim's power, where she was able to know the rest of the powers in the game. And because of me knowing that information, I was able to know what was out there and what wasn't out there. So I would know what I was going up against as the rounds progress. Not to mention, memes have informed me in the final 11 of the game that this game will be played out in a final 3 and not a final 2. And that important information determined exactly what I would do for the rest of the game. Knowing that this game was a final 3 definitely propelled me to target people more aggressively and subtly at the same time. I knew that I had less rounds to actually compete. And because I knew that information, it lit a fire under my ass that I did not have in season 4. The majority of season 4, I was very complacent and I did what people told me to do. But I definitely stepped out in my own shell and I made my everlasting targets known. And why is this idea of everlasting targets important to me? This is important because I personally did not need to go after big threats. Why would I go after big threats when I'm coming on this platform as a quote unquote winner, which is a threat within itself? I wanted to go after everlasting threats, which were my own personal threats, so that I can keep these big threats in and knock out people who would potentially target me. That way, the more people that stay in the game with the less amount of numbers, I'm still getting that information. The numbers are dwindling, but the information is still coming in. And this is still helping me to make my concrete decisions. At the final 7, I made one of the biggest plays of my game. I saved Thosi. And the reason why I saved Thosi with my co-star is because I knew that it was either her or I. And this garnered the trust between her, myself, and memes. And that trust carried me here. I look forward to.
Thank you so much, Jabbar. Memes, whenever you start talking, your 5 minutes will start.
All right, so I want to start off by saying thank you, Nicole and Matthew, for even considering me for All Stars. I know I was the only 2-time pre-juror that came back, and this was an honor to play. And coming into this game, I felt like I was completely underestimated by tons of people in this game. Never at any point was someone gonna say that I was a threat to them because of the way that I played in my past 2 seasons. But I learned from my mistakes in my first 2 seasons, and I made sure that I was not going to repeat the mistakes that I had made in my first 2 seasons. I came into this game wanting to play it super low key and making sure that I had people that would defend me whenever the time came. And I think that I did that pretty well, because the only time that my name was out there was the first jury round when Steph went, and I only got 1 throwaway vote. The only other time that I received a vote was Tulsi throwing away a vote during the Devon vote. Other than that, my name was completely wiped off of people's radars. I had people willing to say that they would not vote for me, even if in the future rounds I was gonna go and vote them out because it was the best for my game. Sorry, I'm nervous. But I think that the connections that I made with certain people are what got me here, because those people thought I had their back and I was able to strike first before they could. Examples of this were with Rocky. I know I did you dirty, but I knew I had to. I couldn't let this group of people who wanted the winners out to get the winners out, because if that happened, I was gonna get either 5th or 6th because I was not being included in those conversations. I really, like, I know that it seems like I just completely backstabbed people when the time came, but I always had a purpose for the moves that I made, and I wanted to do what was best for me as the rounds progressed. I feel like I had towards the end a lot of power to help out certain people that I wanted to help out. during the Rocky vote, it was gonna be Thulsi all day, and then I went to Maddie and we talked a bit, and I suggested, well, what if we just vote Rocky? And I was able to get him on board, which then we went to the winners with the idea, and the ball got rolling on that. And I think I wasn't afraid to take risk in this game. I was willing to vote against what the majority of people wanted. I did it during the second vote of this game. I did it during the Connor and JG vote. I did it whenever it was Duke versus Ben. I easily could have voted Jabbar out at 6, but I chose to put myself on the line because I felt if I didn't, I did not have a secure spot in the final 3. And people may think that that was a 50-50 chance that was extremely stupid of me to take. But for me, if I didn't take that, then I had to win at Final 4. And by not doing that, I was able to secure my spot here. Even if it was against 2 winners, I still feel like I played a game where I was in power at certain points in this game, and I was able to have allies that were willing to protect me as the game went on. Once again, thank you, Matthew and Nicole, for casting me, and thank you, everyone, for playing this game and making it a really fun experience.
Alrighty. Thulsi, you are up. Your 5 minutes starts when you start talking. We have a whole finale to get to. You better start, or I'm gonna start your time.
Okay, so first off, I want to say congrats to the other 2 finalists for being here. You guys have both played awesome games. Congrats and thank you to everyone on this cast, and thank you to production. It's been a very long but wonderful 46 days, and I'm really grateful to be here. So I'm gonna go through my game through the physical, social, and strategic things that I've done in my time. It's no secret that I demolished the physical part of this game. I had 8 competition wins this season alone, which broke the record. And while this isn't necessarily the most important part of that game, it was absolutely necessary for me to get here, including the final 3 competitions I won that secured my spot in this finale. And I worked really hard in those challenges, put in a lot of effort and a lot of practice time, and I fought to get those and to stay in this game every single day. Winning a lot of those challenges also gave me the opportunity to protect my allies, take out my opponents, and set myself up better. Every single round in this game, I thought I was gonna go, probably should have gone a lot of those times, but every single challenge that I was able to win and stay around longer, I was able to build trust with people, and create relationships and make moves that allowed me to stay even longer. And despite having a lot of safeties in this game, I still attended every single elimination, with the exception of the double eliminations and JGs. I was at every single one, and at every single one, I knew what was going to happen, aside from Lana's. I knew what was going to happen whether I voted majority or not. Yeah, so going to the social part of the game, I feel like I was able to make a lot of good connections with people despite being a massive target. I had other people coming to me to save me, whether that was round 2 when I was supposed to go instead of Scott, or the final 8 when I was supposed to go instead of Rocky. I had a lot of different people who were willing to work with me throughout this game. I was able to work with people who, people like Connor and Cam, who were getting a lot of votes early on, and were in a similar spot with me where we didn't have a whole lot of options. I was able to work with them and build those relationships. And I also feel like I was able to play a mostly loyal game and stay true to the people that I was working with. Helped me out that a lot of people turned on me before I turned on them. But the people that I had any type of end game deal with were Rosenberg, Kim, and Jabbar, and I stuck true to those and stuck with them and was able to come to this finale with one of those people. I also feel like throughout this game, I there were moments where I had a lot of good connections. At one point, I did throw a Star Showdown competition because I did not want to make teams, and I felt comfortable with everybody there, and trusted the people who were still in that competition to protect me and take care of me at that point. Despite winning the individual immunity anyways, I had put myself in a good spot where I wasn't going to get screwed over. So going into the strategic part of the game, early on, it was clear to me that I couldn't play the game that I might have wanted to play. I didn't want to come in as a giant threat, but I was for being a winner and being tied to season 6, and we had all just played. I got votes at 3 of the first 6 eliminations, and it was very clear that I couldn't keep going like that. So if everyone's going to call me a threat, I went 110% leaning into it. I went super hard in challenges. I highlighted every single round to people that I was going to go at any minute. I felt vulnerable all the time, and I set myself up to be the biggest shield in this game. And everyone continued to believe that they could take me out at any time because of that. So a lot of people kept me around a lot longer than they wanted to or should have, because I was always going to be in front of them. And it allowed me to get far enough into the game where I could win out from there. I also felt like in this game, I was super flexible with who I worked with. I started this game with the people I knew, season 6 in Rosenberg, but the people that I was against early on, like Duke, Kim, were people I was able to work with later in this game. I helped vote Peyton out, but once he came back into the game, I worked hard to build up that relationship and was going to stick true to that and work with those people moving forward. And yeah, I had strong connections with a lot of people that kept me around in this game. Almost every single one of you has wanted me out, voted for me, or regretted not voting for me. And I think it's a real testament to my game that I was able to get here anyways, despite being vulnerable a lot of times in this game. And thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
Alrighty. It is now time for the jury questions. Up first, we have Stephanie. Stephanie is not here, but she did leave a video, so I will go ahead and play that. You all can hear me, right? Okay, cool. Let's hope to God that this works. Can you all see this? Wonderful. I'm going to turn my volume all the way up.
Hi, it's your first juror, Stephanie. I just wanted to say congratulations for making it to the final 3. I will not be here tonight because I am currently hanging out with our first boot in California and did not realize that it would be falling on a day that I was here in the beginning. So with that being said, you all did wonderful jobs and you all had unique ways of playing your game. So congratulations on getting here. I have locked in my vote, but I'm sure the rest of the jury is looking forward to hearing from you all. So good luck, and I'm excited to see the winner.
All right, let me put in my headphones. You all still hear me? Wonderful. Okay, we will move on to juror number 2, which is Devin. He is also not here, but I have questions to ask for him. He is watching the live stream. He's just in a Zoom meeting for work. You each will get 1 minute and 45 seconds to answer his question. You don't have to use the full time. It's just fair to give you all an equal amount of time. So question number 1, I'm just going to go in the order that he sent it, is for Jabbar. Jabbar, or I guess I should read his little intro first. Sorry. This is just for everyone. Good morning. Never mind, everyone. First of all, I want to congratulate each of you guys to getting to this point. While others in the jury might try and downplay your games, it's important to remember that they didn't get to where you guys are. The first question is for Jabbar. There's a very short list of players that I knew I couldn't beat at the end of this game. It consisted of Robbie, Duke, Thulsi, and Lana. However, your list is clearly not the same with Thulsi sitting next to you. Looking back, was there a move you wish you would have made or not made? And your minute 45 starts now.
The move that I probably would say that I regret the most, because that sounds like that's the question, would probably be giving Robbie the idol in the first place to idol Peyton out. Don't get me wrong, I'm perfectly content with what was happening because I had received intel that Peyton had mentioned my name at the live night, and I was perfectly fine with that being happening. But I would have loved that extra bit of protection. In regards to Thosi sitting in the end next to me, the way I look at that is I much rather sit next to my biggest threat than not sit in the end at all. It was one point in the game where, you know, nobody wanted to let a winner get to the end. So why not team up with the only other winner in the game and do damage together rather than risking going to war? I could have sent Dulcie home at Final 7 if I didn't give her the star power, but I knew that I needed her in the game because with her in the game, my chances of being in the game are way more likely. So to rebuttal kind of what you said, Devin, that's my response to that. In regards to my biggest regret, it will probably be giving Robbie the idol. I absolutely love Robbie, but I would have loved that extra protection a tad bit more.
Alrighty. The next question is for memes. So memes, I think you won't get the respect that you deserve in this game, as most will be pulled into the idea of voting for a 2-time winner. However, I think you played a great game. How did you approach this game different from your original season? Your minute 45 starts now.
All right. So coming into this game, I knew that I needed to be a lot more social and get people that were going to protect me if I was going to start being crazy and stuff later on down the line. In my first 2 seasons, I was super crazy, but I didn't have the people to back me up. As a lot of you have played with me before, you know that I'm super out there and wild, and I have all these crazy ideas that I want to pull off, but I don't have the people to do it whenever the time comes. But this time, I feel like I had that because I had people that were willing to not vote for me at certain points in this game. By like whenever my name came up, Duke came to me and he was like, I'm not voting for you. Maddie, Robbie, Jabbar, they all said they weren't going to vote for me at that vote. Rocky said he wasn't going to vote for me. So I had these people who were wanting to deflect my name whenever it was out there. So then later on, I could pull off certain things that I thought were best for my game. And I wasn't able to do that in my first 2 seasons. If I wanted to make a move on somebody, it either got blown up or I just didn't have people on my side. But this time I changed it up, and I I put in the work to get the people that I needed to, and yeah, that's all.
All right, and then the final question is for Thulsi. First of all, I want to congratulate you specifically on a great job this season. Your social gameplay was phenomenal, but we know that there's no such thing as a perfect game. If you could handpick 2 people to sit next to you at the final 3, would it be Jabbar and Memes? If not, then who would you swap out and why? Your minute 45 starts now.
Interesting. I wish he was here so I could ask like what criteria he was looking for, like who I'd want to sit at the end with, or like who I think deserves to be here most. With full respect to everybody here, I feel like the way that I was talked about in this game meant me getting to the end. Like full respect to everybody else, but like if I get there, then that's like that was just such a big thing that was never supposed to happen. I think anybody sitting here at the end with me, I feel like I would have a case to make. Not that I could necessarily beat everyone or anything like that, but I think I would have a good case to make against anyone. And I'm happy to have Jabbar and Memes at the end with me because Jabbar is someone who had my back when I needed it. And so I had his back when he needed it. And Memes is someone else who was willing to work with me in the last couple of rounds, where the last few rounds of this game were the parts where around final 8 moving forward, people were not talking to me as much, not giving me a lot of options. So the ones that were the ones I would want to have sitting here with me.
Alrighty. That is all from Devin. So we will move on to juror number 3, which is Peyton. Peyton, your 5 minutes starts now.
Hey everyone. Okay. Hello. So just talking to the jury a bit. I only have 5 minutes, so I want to give you each like 1 minute-ish to like give a response. I'm not gonna have super detailed questions, but I am usually not this early in questioning because I'm usually either in finals or towards the end of the jury. So I usually come on and roast because I already have enough information to where I have my vote when I come on to question. So I'm not gonna roast. I'm not gonna be mean. So I'm gonna start with Jordan. Jordan, hey, you look ravishing tonight. I usually vote for the snake that snaked me and got me out. This whole time I thought it was you, but it was not. It was Jabbar. It was you. Like the moves that I thought got me out were not like I thought they were your moves. They're actually Jabbar's moves. So, oops. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. So a lot of people are rubbed the wrong way by a quote that you said. Someone came into the jury and said that you said, quote, let me find it. That you knew you were not going to win against anyone, but you just wanted to get to the end to fill a spot because you wanted to be in the finale. So people are pissed that you said that. I don't really care about that. I think that if you said that, whatever. I'm really proud of you. I played with you in season 1. And I was one of the people that were like, why is he here? He shouldn't be here. And you just proved why you were. So my biggest issue is that you brilliantly hid behind Jabbar this whole game, who was your shield. I think that's brilliant. My issue is that when you get so far to the end, you should either 1, make a bigger move than your shield is making or cut your shield. And you didn't do either one of those. So I do think you have a compelling like argument in game, but I don't think it's compelling enough for me to be compared to 2 previous winners that are sitting here that have huge resumes, in my opinion. So just like maybe like 30 seconds to a minute, maybe sway my vote's completely open right now, just to all 3 of you.
Okay. Well, first off, I just want to say that the move to get you out, I was the one who went to Jabbar with it, and I kind of talked him into it. Ultimately, he did have to give Robbie the idol because I had given it to him, but I was the one who went and we went over all the possibilities and everything about it. On top of that, I think that whenever you went home the second time, I told Duke that if he had something, he should play it on himself, knowing full well that the votes were there for him to stay. And
because I would have been set up nicely had I have got that idol back.
Yeah. So I told him that in case there was something. And I don't know if that was what ultimately made him play it or not, but I think that was something that I did, maybe if he says that. And then another big move that I made was whenever...
Okay, I'm going to stop you. I only have a minute.
Yeah.
Okay,
my
sorry.
bad.
Anyways, not that I don't want to hear you talk, but I just don't have that much time. Jabbar, bitch, I don't even want to look at you. I don't even want to talk to you. But the way you play, fucking brilliant. Like, hats off to you. Like, I play similarly to you a lot, and just good job. Like, I don't even like. I was hugely Dulcie Diaz Twine ever since I got added to jury, and the way that like I was getting information as jurors were coming in, I was like, oh, okay, this bitch doesn't have my vote. Like, Jabbar might have this vote. Like, am I about to give Jabbar this money? Like, I'm about to give Jabbar this money. So yeah, I don't know, like, why, like, you and Tulsi played super different games. Like, you were dealt a hand in which, like, you didn't have to have people protect you where she did. So like, why is your gameplay like more deserving of a win for me? Because like I worked with Dulcie the whole game.
Okay, perfect. The reason why I don't think I had people to have my back is because I instilled that trust. I gave people information when I needed to, and I got information when I needed to. It wasn't just like wasn't doing anything. It was all about the trust that I instilled in people in the first half of the game, and those social connections carry me.
Cool.
I'm gonna give you Stephanie's time since she didn't show up.
Thank you. Oh my God, I was like, this is not enough time. Like, this is not
Jeez.
fair. Okay. Hey bitch, Tulsi, queen, best for last, queen for last. Anyways, I love you. My vote was super, super geared towards you this whole time. I've been like the ultimate Tulsi stan in this thing. So you don't have my vote anymore yet, just because like Jabbar's game is insane, like literally insane. But since my vote was geared towards you, I'm gonna like have my deciding factor be from other people's questioning. But I do want to ask you a more personal question. I'm not gonna ask any more personal questions, just to you. Tell me why meeting me and just me in this game, what does that mean to you, and what did that do to you personally, if anything?
When I was answering the touchy subjects questions, I put you for who'd be my best friend outside of this game. I absolutely loved, our long conversations about Taco Bell and whatever other bullshit we were talking about. I loved getting to play this game with you. I love seeing your random ass Snapchats of taking shots and chugging shit all the time. I completely adore you. I was a little sad voting you out the first time. Not thrilled when you came back after I voted you out, but I was so down to like fix that shit and be with you, and I would have had your back. And just like meeting you, I mean, I greatly enjoyed meeting everybody, but I feel like you and I like did connect a lot and had a really good friendship, and can't wait to see you at a meetup someday.
Perfect. Okay, that's really all I have. Thank you. My vote is still pretty open. Memes, be more confident in your answers. You think you're stumbling, but you're not. So you're fine. Just take a deep breath. You're good. Good luck to all three of you. And I'm gonna finish this wine and listen.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Peyton. Up next, we have Robbie.
Hello, all you beautiful people. First of all, I cannot come in here without saying congratulations to all three of you for making it there. Amazing games. I want to say I really don't have any questions because I think being in the game long enough I was able to see people's true intentions and the gameplay that they wanted to play and where they were the entire time. And then learning stuff from the people coming into the jury kind of wasn't really like a, oh, you don't say situation, because I kind of already did say and already knew. So I want to take this time to, first of all, I want to say to Jabbar, definitely the conversations that we had throughout this game, regardless of whether it was game or not, I treasure so much. And I think you are an absolutely phenomenal person. I'm so happy that I met you in this game, and I'm glad you got to where you are. But I have to say the same for the other two as well. Memes, I think, as Peyton said it very well, and he said that not everyone is looking at you to be the winner of this season based off of preconceived notions of how you are sitting here with two winners, how Jabbar played his game, how Tulsi played her game. But I want to say, Memes, that I am proud of you that you got there. So don't count yourself out just yet, and give it all that you've got, because I am definitely proud of the moves you made to get there. Even if one of those moves sacrificed me, I still adore you. No way around it at all. Tulsi, so I want to start by, I want to apologize to you personally, okay? I want to apologize to you because when I came into this game, where this game started, I looked at several people, and there were three people, you, Lana, Maddie, of course, Maddie, obviously. Maddie, love you. But I looked at you, Tulsi, and I'm like, wow, I'm so excited, and I hope I get to play this game with Tulsi on the same side. And I felt like you and I really established a great connection. I really did, and I adored you, and still do. I just want you to know that. But I want to say sorry that actions that may have been said, things that may have been said, or actions that may have been done earlier on in the game may have changed your outlook on me, and I apologize for that. It was never my intention to do so. I still adore you. I think you're amazing, and I'm proud of the game that you played. Tulsi, you were a huge target. I mean, from this, what I think it was round 1 or round 2, you and I were talking. I'm like, Tulsi, they're coming for you. We gotta do something. And so I just want you to know that regardless of what I may have done in this game, and you may not have agreed upon, I still do adore you, and I apologize for that. And I want you and I to continue a relationship that we had before my time was up. I don't care about the game. Fuck Ascendance All Stars. Love you, Papa. But no, on a real note, I love all 3 of you. I think you all did amazing. No hard feelings whatsoever. I know you will represent this season as the best. And if there is a 2-time winner, then fucking grab it. Put that crown on. Do not drop it. Oh, that was not, no, that was actually not to Tulsi, but I just remembered that was the case. Tulsi, don't drop it if you get it. No, but seriously, I don't want to get emotional, because when I do, I really get emotional. I also want to take this time before I go to apologize to others who my words may have hurt. I know Kim and I had a really great conversation. Kim, love you, adore you. I'm glad that we had the talk that we did. Stephanie, I love you no matter what. I know you may hate me, but that's okay. But yeah, to the 3 of you, because this is your time now, congratulations on getting there. May the best player win, and I wish you all the best of luck. Love you all.
Thank you, Robbie.
Thank you, Papa.
Love you, Robbie.
Mwah.
Alrighty, we are now moving on to juror number 5, Mark, which I totally forgot to at him for his time. So let me run to his prod chat. I was supposed to at him when Peyton started.
Trash.
I'm not good at multitasking, it seems. So we'll just jump ahead, and then if he could come on, he'll get the next slot. So up next, we have Duke. Duke, your 5 minutes starts now.
Can you guys hear me? Dope. All right, I wrote stuff down so I can read it, just because I think I might have forgot it if I didn't do so. Congrats to all of you in making it here. This is my favorite series, and I think all of you deserve a shot at representing it, because you all killed the game in your own separate way. For my personal vote, I think each of you have an opportunity to earn it, whether you want it or not. You will have the opportunity to earn it by the way that you answer my questions. So I'm gonna ask you guys each one question, and I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to answer it. So if you could be as honest with me as you can, that'd be dope. And then at the end, if I have time, I'm gonna ask you guys all the same question. So Memesy, I'm gonna go with you first. Season 1 represent. Super pumped to actually get on a call with you during this game, as opposed to our first go around. I love you, Memesy F, but my question for you, and I think I'm one of the biggest advocates in this jury for your game, but I also heard what Peyton was referring to, that you said during the final 6 round that you didn't think that you could win the game, so that you were just playing to get here at the finale. So my question to you is this true, first of all? And if not, tell me your biggest reason why you should win this game.
Okay. I don't remember if I said that to someone or not. Whenever whoever heard it, they can say if I did or not. But I had so many ups and downs in this game. Like, it was so emotional. I don't even remember if I had said that. So many times throughout this game, I thought that I didn't have a shot if I made it here, because there were so many big players. But I think I deserve to win, because I took my last 2 experiences and I turned them into something positive for myself. even when other people were underestimating me, they underestimated me too much, and I was able to turn the knife around and stab them in the back. It might have been grimy for me to do that.
All right, I'm going to stop you there, Memesy, because I just want to get to my other questions, but good game, buddy. So, Tulsi, Winners Club represent. I think you deserve this win 100%. I think you killed this game strategically. You had to fight from the opening rounds like myself, and I respect that a lot. When was your biggest mistake in this game, and how did you overcome it? You're on mute as well.
I was still thinking. I feel like it's hard to say if it was a mistake when I had my back against the wall the whole time and had to do whatever I could to make it one more day. But one thing that I wish I could do, like I wish I would have done differently, is honestly the round that Kim went home, I feel like I should have fought for her a lot more. I was in no way going to send her out, but of the people who were left, it was between Kim and JG. Kim was someone who was willing to work with me, and JG absolutely wasn't. And I feel like I should have fought harder because having her around would have given me one more person willing to work with me. Because at the late part of the game, JG was not someone I was talking to about game at all. I knew he was coming for me, and when it push came to shove, Kim had my back.
Awesome. Jabbar, Winners Club represent again, dude. I respect your gameplay so much. You played such a great social and strategic game. You are a super cool dude, and I love to get to meet you and get to know you during the course of the game. How are you able to keep people from bringing your name up as a threat until basically early to mid-jury?
Okay, so I have this really cool thing where like I inadvertently can downplay how good I am by saying, yeah, I can do this, but like this other person can do this, this, and this. When it came to like the other winners, I always made it seem like I was like the least threatening because I would always be considered the winner that like won out from 3 to 7. So you don't have to worry about me for the first portion of the game. Take the rest of them out. They're way more dangerous than me. So I think that the trust that I had built within people allowed me to manipulate the situation as if I wasn't as big of a threat as the rest of you guys in particular, when in reality, I was just as big of a threat the entire time.
Dope. I guess my time's up, so thank you guys. Good luck and fucking.
Alrighty. Up next is Mark here. Shit, I opened my iCloud. Mark is not here. He said that he's gonna join soon, so we'll just move on again. So up next we have Rocky.
Hello. First of all, great game to all three of you. I know when I left, I said I will be the bitter juror, and guess what? I am. Jabbar and Dulcie. First, Jabbar, you already know, bitch. Like, if you weren't gonna get me, I was gonna get you at some point. Same with Dulcie. You kind of already knew. Like, I mean, I didn't want winners at the end. So good for y'all for getting me out before I got y'all out. So my question and my whole thing is for Jordan Memes. Memes, I love you. I think that we got to know each other well in this game, but where I'm confused is why at Final 8 did you decide to flip on me? Because I literally was never coming for you. The plan with me, you, and JG to be Final 3, because I dubbed a Final 3 rounds ago. After this is over, you guys can see that I was on a point with a lot of stuff when it came to the buyback and the Final 3. I just was starting to put stuff together. You were never, ever on my radar to go, Memes. I was solid with you. So I just really am confused on what reason, on top of what I heard from the jury, that was not your plan. That was part Maddie's plan to get me out. So don't take credit for taking me out if that was not totally your plan, but also why go in on that plan when me and JG were never coming for you? That plan that we had was solid.
Yeah. Well, for me, I thought that if I made Final 3 with you, you played such a great social game throughout this whole thing. And I really thought that if you were in the end, I would have to fight like so hard and I wouldn't have a chance because you were so likable from the rest of the jury's perspective. For me, this really was the point where I was starting to try and secure my spot in the final 3. I know we had a final 3 and I really do believe that you would have taken me to the end, but if I knew that it was a final 3 at that point, and I would have had to win a competition at 4 to actually secure my spot there instead of having other options as I did in the final 4 that I sat in.
Okay. But also there was a point where I kind of was telling you, like I know a bunch of people were telling you that your personal relationship with Jabbar, you needed, we've heard this in the other jurors, that if you would have cut Jabbar, that would have, you sitting next to me while cutting Jabbar and us cutting Thulsi, that would have gave you a resume. Means just sitting next to me because I have a good social game. We all know that good social game does not automatically win you in. Just winning comps does not win you the end. Just being strategic does not win you the end. Having a combination of all of those and you taking out a big winner could have possibly done that. So I'm just a little confused on why you thought that me was a bigger threat than Jabbar sitting next to you, who was like you're one of your number one people and also just as social as I was.
For me,
my vote, just so you know, my vote's still kind of open. I really want to throw you a bone, Memes, because everybody is kind of like counting you out a little bit, and I want you to really explain why you made these moves that you did.
Yeah. The reason why I took you out over Jabbar at this point was because I think that Jabbar, while he did do a lot just like socially, just like you did, I think that he was always someone that...
Real quick, not even about me. Let's make this real quick. Rocks. You went to Rocks for Jabbar. You had the chance to take him out. Why did you not do it? I wasn't even there at that point.
Because again, my thought process going to Rocks for Jabbar was that if the final 4 was me, Maddie, JG, and Ben, Maddie was going to win that final immunity no matter what. Like, let's just call it what it is. He was going to win that. Like, he was so much better than like the rest of the 3 of us at competitions. So I would have had to win either part 1 or part 2, and then part 3.
Wrap it
because
up.
I thought JG or Benji would take each other over me in the end.
All right. Well, good luck to all 3 of you. I'm still listening. So, and congratulations again for getting here.
Alrighty. Up next, we finally have Mark. Mark, your 5 minutes starts when you start talking.
Fabulous. I won't need 5 minutes. Sorry, I'm late. Congratulations, you 3. You guys all kicked ass and did what we couldn't do and made it to finale night. I do want to start with Memes and say congrats. You went from pre-jury all the way to finale with little crazy gameplay, a little bit of lying. But I'd say that you definitely showed your all-star. You lived up to your all-star expectations. Like you said, I did not. Jabbar, your social game is impeccable. You're social. I love talking to you. You're the kind of person that I think that even if we don't talk all game, we can catch up where we left off, and you soak up everything like a sponge. If who I'm voting for does not win, I think you are fully deserving this title. Last, I have Solsi. You are a legend. I knew how threatening you were, and I tried to get you out. And my only question is, how many times do you think I tried to vote you out of this game? How many times did I write your name down?
At least 3?
Correct. I wrote your name 3 times to get out of here, and tonight I'll be writing your name a 4th time. You look beautiful. Good luck.
Thank you, Mark.
Ciao.
Alrighty. Up next, we have Kim. Kim, your 5 minutes starts whenever you start talking.
Hello, everyone. It's so nice to see you guys. I hope you're safe and healthy and well. My first question is to Jabbar. Why should Tulsi not win?
I think that Tulsi should not win because if we're strategizing based off of the other people who are in the end, I think that Tulsi made a few critical errors in the way that she treated her allies. In particular, in the round that Lana left, she made a decision that some of her allies were gonna blindside Duke and some of her allies were gonna be left in the cold to blindside to think that they were blindsiding you, actually. And I think that because of situations like that, she was not able to garner that much trust going into the jury phase. Whereas, and I'm gonna equate this to my game in particular, whereas I was able to keep the trust and the information going, I think that there were several times where she lost that bridge of information to a point where she needed those competitions to win, as opposed to me, who got through the final 6, got through the final 5 based off of the trust that I had built and like the strategic and social abilities that I had shown in the rounds prior to that.
Okay. Memes, you literally said maybe a handful of words to me all game and we had one call. Was it part of your strategy not to play with me?
No, I wanted to work with you in the beginning, but I think me winning a lot of the team challenges made it so I didn't, like, I was talking to people, but I didn't talk as much because I didn't want to go and be crazy and start saying too much to people because I know I have a big mouth. And especially since I wasn't involved in the votes, I wasn't going to start trying to talk game or strategize if I wasn't at the LM.
Okay.
And, oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. Thank you for that. Tulsi, I want to give you the recognition you deserve because Queen knows a queen. And I am grateful for you having me by your side even after everything we went through in the beginning. You've answered kind of my question already, but I would like you to answer to me, what makes your game the best game that anybody has ever played in Ascendance?
I never said that. Those are some big words. I will say I think I've played a really good game, and while I did need a lot of those comp wins to maybe stay a day longer, I feel like I was really able to use those in a lot of different places where there were a lot of points where I was vulnerable. The numbers should have been there to take me out, and something else different always happened every time. I didn't need powers or other things to make that happen either. Some people might have thought I had an idol for some parts of the game, but I was never like bluffing I had it or anything. I either won and was safe or didn't, was vulnerable, and tried to make something else happen. And I want to give you a little bit of credit too, because on that Rocky vote, I went to you and I went and talked about who else besides Jabbar would you be willing to vote for, since I knew you were the only one that had my back there.
That's right, Maddie.
I think Rocky got from 2 directions there, because you and I had that going on, and then Maddie and Memes might have also had that going on. And I feel like I was able to make that work. While I might have burnt some bridges trying to make some moves and lying to people at some points, I tried to play as honest of a game as I could. When I voted for people, I and when I knew I was going to do that and I wasn't worried about an idol, I said that to their face beforehand, as you saw many times, Kim. When I voted for Maddie, I said that up front to everybody. I tried to play as honest of a game as I could, so the few moments where I felt like I had to lie, I could do that.
Okay. I have one more quick question for Jabbar, so I want to cut you off, but congrats. Jabbar, what was different in this game than what you played in season 4 with me?
Okay, so what was different in this game was like the first half of the game, I was extremely complacent. I just was fighting to keep myself and Regan safe, so I was willing to do whatever people said. This time, I took the bull by the horns and I gave Robbie that idol to get rid of Peyton. I casted that vote against Alex. I was very aggressive in the first half of this game, which I wasn't in my season.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Congrats to both, all of you guys. Sorry, my apologies.
Alrighty, up next we have Benji. Ben, your 5 minutes starts when you start talking.
Hello, congrats to you guys. And actually, wait, congrats to the 4 of us, because we're the only 4 people who never got voted out of this game. And that's the T. I'll start with memes. So piggybacking on what Kim said, you and I never had a call until the night before I left. And you never really once talked strategy to me, except to, say, talk about Emily, justice for Emily. She got screwed over because of what you did. Or I guess it was Jabbar, by giving Jabbar the idol to Robbie. Anyway, I think there's a big problem with perception in this game, and perception often becomes reality. And I learned that my game was perceived as shit because everyone just thought I was a dumb sheep doing nothing, when I was doing all these things I thought I was doing. So I think that might be happening to you too. So what was your biggest move specifically, briefly?
Okay. I think my biggest move was flipping on Robbie whenever I did. I easily could have voted out Rocky with Kim, Mark, and Robbie whenever I did, but I went to Rocky and Thulsi and I said that we should vote out Robbie.
That was your idea?
Yeah, I went to, they had Robbie's name out there, but I went to them and told them Rocky's name was out there and that Kim and Mark were voting for Rocky. And by doing so, I think...
Why was that the biggest move for you?
I think it was a big move for me because it cut Robbie off, who was a big threat, but I think it also freed up Maddie for like the later games, because I think people perceived Maddie and Robbie as a duo throughout the whole game, and it really, I think that me and Maddie had a lot more.
Sorry, I'm gonna cut you off. Sorry. I just want to get through everybody. Jabbar and Tulsi, congrats. You guys are huge threats, and as the leader of the Anti-Winner Alliance, which formed for 2 rounds by me and it got blown up, you're welcome for trying to get you out and forming an alliance and then getting thrown in my face for doing that. Like, how dare I? And I have to say, Jabbar, the way you handled that was amazing. And the fact that after that got blown up in my face, you got on call with me, reassured me. Somehow I promised not to vote you out for the next 2 rounds. Like, what? Like, that was just amazing, commendable stuff. And Tulsi, you have this ease and social like way that is just like amazing. So my question for both of you is, what is your biggest game mistake? And then tell me what each other's biggest game move and why they deserve to win. So Jabbar, go first. What was your biggest mistake quickly? And then why does Tulsi deserve to win?
Okay, so I think that once again, my biggest game mistake would have just been giving Robbie the idol to idol out Peyton. And it's more so because I felt like there was a relationship that could have been salvaged with Peyton at that point, as opposed to when he came back in, I was already working under the impression that if he found out that it was me, he would come for me hardcore, so I had to send him home again. So I made life a lot more difficult by targeting Peyton in the first place. With that being said, I think that Thulsi's biggest move, that was the second part of the question?
Yeah, it's like, why does she deserve to win? What do you think her biggest move was?
Oh, wait, why does she deserve to win, or what was her biggest move?
Yeah, both.
Okay, so Dulcie deserves to win because I'm not gonna lie, she's a fucking badass. How many people in a season can win 8 chances to basically save themselves? I think that her biggest decision was when her initial allies and the people that she trusted, I guess, went home. Her linking up with Duke and Duke going home was probably the best thing that happened to not only Dulcie, but myself. We created an impenetrable barrier from that point on. Star after star
Cool.
after star after star.
Got it. Okay, Tulsi, go. Oh, mute. You're still muted.
Sorry. Okay, so for my mistake, I feel like I might have lied more than necessary, and I wasn't completely sure about that until after the fact. I only lied when I really thought I had to, but I didn't always want to. Jabbar has played a hell of a game. You know, he knew what was happening a lot more in depth than I did throughout this game. And I think him saving me.
Can I have some of Mark's time? Sorry.
I'll give you an extra minute and a half.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. So I think that, you know, he played a hell of an early game. He was making a lot of moves and had himself in a really good spot throughout this game. But I think one of the things that did, you know, solidify his position here tonight was him saving me at 7, guaranteed him my loyalty at 6 and 5, which he needed. And then he won his way after that.
Yep. Cool. Well, good game, all of you. It's just a game, and I hope that the most important thing is that you had fun. I did. So good luck, and we'll see who becomes the winner. Rocks.
Alrighty, thank you so much. Up next, we have Mr. Matty Ice.
Hello.
Oh, and before you start, sorry, I'm gonna give you the rest of Mark's time, so you'll have 7.5 minutes.
Oh, so much pressure to fill and not talk about myself. So, okay. First I want to say congrats to you 3. Hell of a game, hell of a season. I'm really struggling. I think perception versus reality has been brought up a lot, and I'm struggling with the fact of this whole, you know, Thulsi being this huge winner threat and her being a badass, which she is. But I told you, girl, if you're sitting next to Jabbar, you both being a winner, in my opinion at least, goes away because you're against another winner. So that no longer helps your argument. So with you being this previous winner and that being a threat, I want to know what you think you did better than Jabbar, which helped you get here and deserves you the win over Jabbar because you did it better.
All right, so I completely listened to like everything that you were saying in that moment, and I just want to like address the choice I made there as well. I voted you out because you are a bigger comp threat to me than Jabbar, and I needed to win my way still. And I was able to do so after you were gone. I know, 3 seconds. But the other thing is, if I get myself to that final 3 and Jabbar wins, there's a chance that he does take me. He might take memes over me, but he does take me over JG. And that's not something that I was going to get from you. So I had a lot of reasons for going with that choice, though I do understand it put me in a spot where I have to go against Jabbar, but it at least got me here. One thing I did in this game, I totally understand what you're saying about the winner thing going out the window, but I feel like we did play completely different games, but I super leaned into the fact what my perception was. What everybody else decided they saw me as, I leaned into it and I used that to my advantage to make myself the biggest shield, someone who could go out later. Those were the cards that were dealt to me, and if I, that's what I had to do. I had to show that I was the winner, not just like the winner, but the comp threat, the good at this and good at that, and still got myself to this point. Whereas, Jabbar played a hell of a game, but he was able to like minimize that, and that got him a lot further, and there's merits to that as well. But I don't think being a winner, like, and coming back and doing what I did, like, I think that deserves some props. I don't think it necessarily goes out the window.
Okay, that's good for me.
I want to take up all your time.
Yeah. All right, now I want to move over to Jabbar. because Jabbar, I think a lot of people realize this too late in their game. And I realized it maybe around too late when I was still around, was that there was one call that you and I were on, and I typed in my prod chat and I said, I can feel that Jabbar is playing me, and I just realized it. And I don't think other people realized it until they were voted out. And I think you had this sort of mist, as people are calling it. And I think you downplaying yourself so much is still hanging on a little bit. And you need to use this time to convince those people to vote for you, and what you were doing behind these scenes and how much you knew and what moves you were making and how active you were, because I think that's a lot of the difference here is Dulcie's perception threat of if she makes it to the end, she's gonna win and she's here, versus you had a lot more control over your game and had more know and had more strategy in how you got here. So use this time to prove that. And
Where
get
would you
those
like me to
votes.
start, from beginning to end?
I just kind of generally about how you want to use it.
I'll use specific examples. I was able to use my social bonds to get into an early alliance with Rocky, Maddie, and Robbie. Why is this important? Because when these social connections allowed Rocky to let me know that Alex was not a big fan of mine. Maddie also told me that I was fairly solid on Alex's hit list. Not to mention, JG had informed me that Alex had a vote block that he was probably going to use at that round, and that him and Steph had a call that said that Steph was probably going to use her RSVP. While all of these things are important, this is information that I needed to make those decisions. I was privy to a lot of information that I needed. I flat out went to Maddie and I asked him if he had the idol, and he just flat out said yes. And we were able to strategize with that to help take down one of the biggest threats in the game. Steph came to me and she said that Peyton was the one who threw out your name. Even if it was like a little small conversation or whatever the case may be, I was like, you know what? I have this idol. Memes had brought up the idea, but ultimately his trust in me allowed me to have an idol in a 50-50 coin. It was my decision to give that idol away in the first place. And that's what I did. When I won the first star challenge, I was the one, I didn't let anybody know who my targets were that I set up on those teams. Peyton probably thought that it was him, it was a given, but I set Devin up to go home and I made it look like Duke was the initial target. And I didn't tell anybody until after the challenge was played that I was gunning hardcore for Devin. I was the one that people were telling about this whole anti-winners things. I knew who was in it. I knew who was spearheading it. I knew who was a part of it. I relayed this information to the other two winners. I was the one that was trying to get the winners together in the first place to target everybody else. These things were things that I was trying to do. I knew that I wasn't necessarily going to ever be seen as the biggest threat out of the winners, but that's not something that I didn't want to be seen as the biggest winner threat, because the longer that I'm not the biggest winner threat, I could take out the people who mean the most getting out to my game. And I strategically did that round after round after round. Even when I saved Thosi in the final 7, I was the one that pushed against Kim because I felt like Kim was one of the few people who had me clock still in that game. So the minute that I saved Thosi, I put the big red X on Kim's back, and I did what I needed to do. Ultimately, throughout this game, I had the information and I made logical and strategic decisions to get me here. When I needed people to have my back in the final 6, Jordan Memes went to rocks for me. Thosi, the other winner in the game, did me a solid because I saved her ass. And that's not something that I feel like I could have done with any of the other 9 winners in this game. These are the 2 people who I had to sit in the end with after a certain point. Nobody else was gonna give me a chance. Thosi winning the competitions, okay, boo, you keep winning and you keep on being a vote for me to stay in the game. Jordan Memes, you were my day one from day one. You can stay in the game too. When I need y'all to have my back, they had my back, and we picked off everybody else at the end of the game.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I think you guys both did really well. I'm just gonna leave it at that, not take up any more time, but good luck to you both. I think that battle of those 2 perceptions is what's gonna decide who this winner is. So if you wanna take that and use the rest of your time to try to lean into that or do whatever you want with your time, that's what I'm gonna give you, and good luck to you both. And it means as well, congrats on making it to the final 3, and we'll see who wins. Good luck, love you all.
Alrighty, last but not least, we have JG. JG, I'm gonna give you 6 minutes because he had about 45 seconds left. So
we love that. All right, so first, congratulations to all 3 of you. I really do have a lot of admiration for all 3 of you, especially like these last couple of days before I got voted out. We spent a lot of time on calls together, so I am gonna do what I said that I was gonna do, give you guys all the benefit of the doubt. I have been listening. Memes, I'm going to start with you. I definitely had a lot of questions coming in, but most of the jury has asked those questions. One thing I am very curious about, though, a lot of the decisions you've made in this game show that you wanted to work with Thulsi and Jabbar, and you had Jabbar's back constantly. Was this ideally your actual final three that you wanted? And if not, if you could single-handedly pick who would be sitting in final three, who and why?
This wasn't really my ideal final three. I would have rather had you in the end over one of the winners. I don't care which. Like, from like round 10 onward, whenever I had this sheet where I like calculated who was closest to me, who was close but I needed to go soon, who was not that close to me but they could stay a bit, and then who absolutely needed to go. You started gravitating towards the people that I needed in this game, because I thought you were someone that I needed to sit next to in the end, and my mind wasn't made up at that final four. Like, I even told you about this after the fact. My mind was not made up if I had won any of the parts to take him or take you. So.
And again, I'm taking everything down to the wire and gonna listen to these other two questions. I'm gonna move on now to Thulsi. Thulsi, obviously we've all been singing your praises as if you were Cersei, except a lot more likable than Cersei. But you did slay King's Landing, baby girl. For me personally, though, you had to do what you had to do, and that involved winning comps. But at the end of the day, if you were vulnerable, you would have been voted out. I need you to kind of defend yourself a little bit, because in my opinion, that's kind of a weakness. And I know we all painted you as a target. We all said that you were going to be queen and that you were going to win this game. So like, yeah, you had to win it. But to be fair, maybe what could you have done differently to maybe put yourself not in that position? Because I think to some degree, you put yourself in a spot that if you were vulnerable, you were going to be voted out.
I was vulnerable many times. Those 8 victories were not straight. I won 3 early in the game. That was in like the pre-jury part of the game. Then I was vulnerable for a couple rounds, 1, 2 more, vulnerable a little bit more. There was that very first jury elimination, like the first member of the jury where Steph went out. Robbie and Duke were both safe. And then so were Peyton and Maddie. They're the perceived pairs of them. So neither of those could be broken up. I was vulnerable and I hadn't been in 3 rounds. And I was already showing everybody that I could and would dominate these competitions if given the chance. My name did not come up that round. Nobody said my name, as I didn't hear it at all. 6 names came out of like 10 people vulnerable, and mine wasn't one of them. I did win a lot of competitions, but even in those moments when I wasn't safe, something else always managed to happen. Other people helped. It wasn't all on my own. Other people had other ideas of what they wanted to do, but I really believe that like in leaning into the perception, I had to work with what you all were giving me, which is that I'm the one to get out. I'm this big, huge threat. So I did just that and used that however I could.
And then finally for Jabbar, I know a lot of people are thinking about like your game a lot, and a lot of people have kind of like woke up a bit too late about your game, and really realizing how lethal you were. My question's more personal though. This really isn't for the jury. This is for JG. You really misted me this game. Like you really misted me, baby boo. Like, I was always after Duke because Duke was obviously throwing my name out. Thulsi was always a threat to me, and I wanted her gone as soon as I was going up against Connor. I was never targeting you because I genuinely thought that you had my back in this game. And I thought you were someone I wanted to go to at least Final Four and wanted to cut you. Did you have the same feelings though, or were you playing me like a fiddle? Because baby girl, I feel like the smallest fiddle right now sitting outside looking at you.
Unfortunately, I'm going to say Yes, I absolutely did play you like a fiddle, and I'm 100% sorry. But like I said, I had to do what I had to do to get here. I wasn't necessarily playing you when you were feeding me as much information as you were, because your information is the reason why I was able to speak up and potentially save Thosi instead of Mark, like give my input and my opinions in those rounds and things like that. So I really appreciated you. But, you know, when this whole thing with this, you telling me that a winner isn't gonna make it to the end anyway, then okay, the claws have to come out at that point. I might as well, you know, there's no bad blood, but now I have to take my services to the highest bidder. Jordan and Thosi just so happen to be the highest bidder.
All right. Thank you all three for answering. Kill it with your final speeches. It's your last chance to give it your all.
Alrighty, thank you so much. All right, we are going to go into closing speeches. I realize that 5 minutes is not a lot of time, so I'm going to give you all 7. That seems to be enough time. So up first, we have Thulsi.
All right, so this is gonna be a little all over the place, just kind of like answer a lot of things that I've heard tonight, but thank you all so much for your time and your questions. I appreciate it all. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I've talked a lot about what I've done this game. I want to highlight maybe like a few specific things that I've done. One thing I do want to say is that Jabbar did have a lot of information in this game, and he did play a hell of a game, but a lot of that information he was telling me. I didn't have to go collect it all myself because Jabbar was coming to me at as early as like the Rosenberg vote. You know, he was letting me know what everybody else wasn't telling me. So even if I didn't have all of the connections, I had the one that was getting the rest, and didn't have to filter through it all myself. Yeah, I feel like I built genuine relationships with all of you. Everything I said on like a personal level was completely true. You know, I was sitting on, by the end of the game, I was sitting on calls with people who were telling me to my face that they were about to vote me out as soon as I was vulnerable. And I'm sitting there still having a great conversation with them, having a good time, knowing we're not working together in the game at all. Yeah, I also want to highlight, you know, I absolutely could not have gotten here by myself. You know, but I did do a lot of things in this game on my own. I won this the challenges that I won by myself. I got myself to this point. I had help from a lot of allies along the way and people who wanted other people out more than I did. But I had all of my like more serious ties severed very early on. Alex left, Rosenberg left, Lana left, they were all gone. And all of them leaving, sad as it was personally, was great for my game. And while I didn't vote for them, I was fully there for them going. Oh gosh, sorry, I think of a lot to say, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like there were very few points in this game where I had like strong alliances that were carrying me. A lot of it was round to round work that I was doing every time, being flexible with people, working with new people every round, however I had to. I tried to form relationships with a lot of people as the game progressed, not trying to come off too strong socially at the beginning, since that's something I was known for doing in my like previous season. So a lot of people I didn't get to talk to right away, but I definitely wanted to build those connections and build those bonds and work with a lot of people. What, you know, a lot of the times though, my back was against the wall and I knew that people were coming for me, even though I didn't want to come for them. And so I had to do what I had to do. But while I may not have handpicked every single person going home every round, pretty much everybody in this game has been coming for me. And every single person going has been good for my game. With the perception that everyone's had for me, all I had to, like, my main focus was just getting to the end. And I think I did that, and I don't think I made any unnecessary moves throughout my game to get here. I think I did what I needed to in the right moments. One thing that was brought up earlier was the round where Lana went home, where I was trying to do, I was trying to send Robbie home, but then Duke was my backup. And while the people voting Kim, who had been my allies up until that point, didn't know about the other things going on, I was using that to, most other people knew where the votes were supposed to be going between Robbie and Duke. And I was using that to try to build relationships and new ones while taking out people that were perceived as other threats. So I was using that to work with people that I hadn't worked with before, and was able to do a lot there that could have been pulled off if not for that double idol. Gosh, let me see what else. Yeah, I mean, I think I played the best game I could have played with the hand that I was dealt. With everyone coming for me so early in this game, I wasn't left with a lot of options. I did try to minimize my threat level early on and not do anything crazy, kind of go with the flow and do what I had to protect myself, which meant vote however other people wanted to vote, whatever meant saving me. But when it was clear that wasn't working, I really leaned into what everybody was thinking about me and rode that all the way here. And there were multiple times throughout that when I was vulnerable, but the way, partially the relationships I had formed with people, where there were a lot of people where I completely had their back and they didn't necessarily need to go for me in that moment. I was the biggest shield, and there were people who needed to keep me around or else they would go. And so I had people who had to have my back for their own games. I made it good for other people to keep me around despite the massive threat that I had, and used that threat to my advantage. Yeah, and sorry, I'm so nervous. I did win a lot of comps, but yeah, I worked really hard for those. Some of those were like just pure, effort and running around, like the scavenger hunt. Some were things like the set game and the puzzles I practiced all day for the 1 or 2 days up until that moment, hoping to pull it out. I put in a lot of effort and energy into this game. Absolutely loved meeting everybody and getting to know you. Hope you'll vote for me, but if not, it's all good. I've had a great time. Thank you guys.
Alrighty. Up next, we have Memes. You have 7 minutes.
Okay. So I just want to once again thank Matthew and Nicole for casting me. I really think that I came into this game and I wanted to try something different for myself and really set myself up for success. And I think that I did that to the best of my ability with like the people that were in this game and with information that I was getting. From start to finish, I was fighting super hard. I wasn't like, even if I wasn't talking with people all the time pre-jury, I still was trying to talk with people. I know I was safe for a majority of the team challenges, but I still was trying to put in effort where I could without coming off as shady and like I was overplaying, because I'm known to overplay. I'm known to overshare. And I think I did a good job at keeping myself cool throughout that, because I easily could have overplayed with how many times I was safe in a row. And then moving into the jury phase, I was safe less times, and my name only came up once. I got 2 throwaway votes this whole game because people weren't willing to take a shot at me or wanted to take a shot at me. I cut people whenever I felt I needed to benefit my game and secure my spot here. I know I did a lot of people dirty that are sitting on the jury right now, but I don't think that I did it without a reason, and I don't think that I just lied to people to lie to people. And yeah, I think every round that went by, I didn't have to rely on other people to come to me and save me. Whereas at the final 8 round, the winners were sitting on call and till the last minute, thinking it was one of them, until Maddie and me had come to them to throw them a bone and save them. So if you vote for me, thank you. If not, congrats on being a 2-time winner, one of you. And it was so much fun playing this game.
Alrighty. Jabbar, you are up. You have 7 minutes.
Okay, so I've survived 35 rounds, 90 freaking days of Ascendance. And how is it that I was able to go undetected for about 40 days in an all-star game, coming in as one of 5 winners? I did not do that by chance. I did not do that by luck. I played the game to the best of my strategic ability. With that being said, like I said, I minimized my threat level. I always made it seem like there was always going to be another bigger threat than me, while I was able to take out people who I knew would come for me. Alex had me clocked from very early on in the game. I was a part of the move to send him home. Like I said, I gave Robbie the idol to idol out Peyton. I also, alongside Rocky, planned Connor's downfall in the round that he went home. I didn't come into this game as a shield. I did that in season 4. I won out all the way to the end from from final 7 to final 3. I had to rely on my social skills and my strategic ability. I wasn't a shield for anybody. I was the sword, and I was coming in swinging. And if you were in my way, you could get chopped. And I'm so sorry how that sounds, but that's the way it had to be. By the time I got to, even though I was a winner like the rest of the winners, I didn't play with my hands dealt. I was the poker dealing. I was passing out the hands to every single person. I was giving out information to Thosi. I was giving out information to Memes, to Rocky, to Maddie, to Robbie. I was giving out information as a sign of trust, because the amount of information you give out allows people to want to bring in information to you. It's a two-way street, and I understood this, and this is how I was able to get that information drawn back in to me. And this is how I was able to target these personal threats. Voting out Stephanie. Stephanie was another person who had me clocked. Whether she wanted to admit it or not, I felt like Stephanie was on the right path to send me home, and I had to take the shot and voting her out before she made the decision to come for me. Targeting Peyton and targeting Devin, those were both 2 really big threats in my game from a personal level and a strategic level, and I took the chance to send them both home. Other people in the game, the reason why those people were threats to me was because they weren't giving me the information that I needed to make these logical decisions. Everybody else, they were giving me information, but it was not on the level as the other people that was in the game. I needed to surround myself by people who were willing to give me facts. They were willing to give me things that other people were doing. That's how I found out about this anti-winners thing. That's how all of these things happened for us. I was able to use those social bonds to plan out my strategic prowess throughout the rest of the game. And I think I did that fairly well. On to onto Jordan and Thosi. I think that partnering up with them was the route that I had to take to get here. By the time we got to the final 8, nobody was planning on taking a winner to the end. And at the end of the day, I had to team up with Thosi, and I had to team up with Memes because he was the only person that was actively giving us a chance. And I think that myself and Thosi created a great balance for each other. Thosi was great at strategy. Thosi was great at the competitions. And I balanced her out by having those social connections with the people that I specifically wanted to still be in the game at that point because they were feeding me the information. Next to the strategy that I had within myself. She had physical and strategy, I had social and strategy, and we created a super being. Memes also was giving me information about final 2s, final 3s that he was a part of, and things like that. That's how I knew who to target, who I might as well not even waste my time with, and things of that nature. When I needed those people to have my back in the final 6, Memes went to rocks for me, and Thosi, out of the loyalty that I showed her in the final 7, saved my ass when I needed it the most. And when she really didn't have a true reason but to keep me, besides the loyalty that I gave her in the final five, she decided to double down on it and save me again, which I was even more appreciative about, not to mention Memes doing the same thing. And by the time she had won her way to the final four, I had to compete against Memes and JG in the final three-part competition, and I won my way here. And I chose Memes because he has shown me so much loyalty up until that point that I just decided to repay the favor. So I say all of that to say that I've done a lot of time socializing with you, jury. I've done a lot of time listening to you, and now I would like it if you guys listen to me. I absolutely am a contender to win this season, whether you guys thought that I was one from day one, or you guys didn't realize it until you hit that jury and had to find out information of things that I was doing. I was always here, I was always alert, I was always around, and I was always playing. Whether you chose to act on that or not, that's not something that I can genuinely control. I can only control what I do from inside the game, and I did it well. This is my second time going around. I'm a winner too, and I showed that I was here to fight, and hell, final six, final five, final seven, final four, I fought.
All right. That is it for the finale. The power now shifts to the jury's hands. Jurors, it is now time to cast your votes for a winner. You're voting for who you want to see win. You're not voting someone out. Vote for a winner. I will be back with the votes. Obviously, do not disclose who you are voting for. You all could kind of talk a little bit, but submit your vote. You guys have 2 minutes.
This is Ascendance. We don't have time for no topaz.
Are we allowed to talk?
He said don't disclose who you're voting for, but you're welcome to talk.
I just want to bring up something. Oh, can I say something really quick? Like for like every round, I would go to Jabbar and say, "Hey, can we form an alliance with Rocky, me, you, and Memes?" And he'd be like, "No, I don't think you want to do that. No." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I kept doing it, and I never realized.
What a fucking season, you guys.
I just want to say this was the hardest vote I've ever had to make ever in my life. So, but I just voted. So. I tried to vote for Benji, but they didn't let me.
He's not lying.
Oh, I'll take the vote.
Ain't got time for topaz bullshit, I said.
Can I just vote for myself and solidify most votes in a season?
Girl, you already did that.
Did she really? What a queen.
She did. She doesn't need another vote.
Duke, you look really great tonight, by the way.
Leave my husband alone?
I was about to ask if you guys had it.
Weren't you just flirting with Benji, Peyton? You're a whore.
You can't disclose what we talk about in jury. Okay. I'll be at your house at 8 to pick you up, Benji, for Red Lobster, by the way.
Get me some of those cheese buns.
If I was some of these straight men's like wives and girlfriends, I would come on these calls like, "You bitches got my man fucked up."
All the men that want to hit on my husband is welcome to, but women can just step the fuck off. Looking at TikTok, people.
I'm not on TikTok, so thank God for that, because I don't need Nicole coming to kill me.
The straight men's girlfriends and wives don't know I exist, so hey.
I'm just kidding. They do. Duke talks about us.
We're literally streaming live on Facebook. I mean, on YouTube.
Well, give me my airtime, hey.
Alrighty, I have the vote. Before I reveal the vote, I would just like to say this season we had our ups and downs, but overall, I am happy with everything that turned out. You guys definitely showed out, and really made the season one of the best in the series. Before the season started, I was like, let's cast 30 of these people. Nicole got me down to 24, and thank God she did, because I don't think I could handle 6 more of you. So,
I am the brains. He is the beauty.
So after 46 days, either Jabbar, Memes, or Thulsi are about to win our 7th season of Ascendance. All right, you guys have waited long enough. We will now get to the vote. You want to see your name? It takes at least, technically, 4 to win. So.
Because there's 3 people.
Because there's 3 of you, yes. So. Wide face Thulsi. Oh, wait. First vote. Thulsi. Second vote. Jabbar. That's 1 vote Thulsi, 1 vote Jabbar. Third vote. Thulsi. #legend. Fourth vote. Jabbar. Second crown. There's 2 votes Thulsi, 2 votes Jabbar, 0 votes Memes. Fifth vote. Jabbar, you snapped. There's 3 votes Jabbar, 2 votes Thulsi, 0 votes Memes. Sixth vote. Thulsi, queen says queen. That is 3 votes Thulsi, 3 votes Jabbar, 5 votes left. Seventh vote. Thulsi Diaz Twine. That is 4 votes Thulsi, 3 votes Jabbar. Eighth vote. Jabbar, Fiddle Me Crazy. That is 4 votes Thulsi, 4 votes Jabbar. How many votes are left? I don't even know. 3 votes left. Ninth vote. Jabbar, #winner pride. That is 5 votes Jabbar, 4 votes Thulsi, 2 votes left. 10th vote. And the winner of Ascendance All-Stars, King Jabbar.
Congrats, bitch.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congrats, Jabbar.
Congrats, Jabbar.
Or go season.
Thank you all.
Congrats to the other 2 of you, though. Like, amazing.
Yeah, congrats to both of you. Congrats to both of you. Memes, personally, I just want to say, don't feel fucking bad on yourself, bitch. You did a great job. You got here. We did not get there. I think with everybody, it just was like the moves that you made in the game. But you made moves. You did what you had to do. So I do not want you to feel bad at all, Memes. You did what you had to do.
Jabbar, do you have anything that you would like to say?
No, because I'm a big baby and I'm gonna start crying. So no, I'm gonna do what I did half the season and shut the hell up.
Alrighty, I would just once again like to thank all 24 people who played this season. We couldn't have done this without you guys. I would like to thank everyone who has viewed the season, made everything fun. Ascendance will be back eventually, not soon. We're taking a break. We've been going a while. But yes, once again, thank you all so much. I'm going to go ahead and...
Nope. I got some things to say.
Oh, go ahead.
1, we've been going nonstop since January. We've really been going nonstop since July, really last week of June. We took 6 weeks off for the Thanksgiving, Christmas holiday, and we were back at it. We will be taking quite a bit of break. We probably will be doing some more fun things, like maybe 1 week minis, or maybe some just circle fun things where, like fast games, stuff like that, that's just for fun. Don't look for like a mainstream game probably the rest of the year. Ascendance Live has been moved to next year due to COVID. We're very hopeful with vaccines and testing and things like that spring will be the time. We may be 9 months late, but we're gonna do it. Also, I will be adding the Zoom link into the pre-jury, so you guys are welcome to join. We will not be live, but we will do a quick awards and reunion, so look for that soon. Thank you, Matthew. I know I had to really convince you to do this. Hearts of Reality getting canceled did help, but this was a long, hard season to do with 24 people and 2 production members. Anyone who's ever hosted knows that. So thanks for your patience and your just giving us a little bit of slack when we needed it. Thank you for the viewers. Add your friends. Viewers, fan favorite will close in 16 minutes. So get your last minute votes in. I think that's all I had, but I love you all. Thank you for being passionate. Every one of you really put in a lot of work this season, and hopefully Ascendance means as much to you as it does to me. Welcome back to the family. You'll be in the alumni chat in a few minutes.
All right, I'm going to end this signing off from Ascendance. I'm Papa Chen Probes Moonves. Good night.